What is up, Jamily? This is JamiroFan 2000 here with yet another episode of JamiroFan Talks About, where I take a speculative and truthful look at the music of JamiroQuai from the past, present, and future throughout the last 27 years of the JamiroQuai musical discography. This episode of JamiroFan Talks About will be a little bit of an update episode from the last episode of the JamiroFan Talks About, where I discussed a brand new medium that appears to become making its headway into the music industry in 2018 with the launch of the new high-definition music cards, which I just reported had started popping up on Amazon.com as of early January. Now it turns, I thought I'd record another episode of JamiroFan Talks About with a few updates concerning these new multimedia high-definition music cards that are coming out. Now it appears that there is the JamiroQuai one that I reported about is not the only one that is currently up for pre-order on Amazon.com. It appears the JamiroQuai music card is one of 12 experimental high-definition music cards that are currently for pre-order on Amazon.com. Other notable artists that do have music cards coming out around this time, with release dates ranging between January 20th to February 20th of 2019, are as follows: Pink Floyd, Michael Jackson, Depeche Mode, Britney Spears, Elvis Presley, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, George Michael, Josh Groban, Dave Matthews, and of course Aerosmith. All these music cards all do range in different varying tracks that will be on these music cards, but for right now it appears the track listing format for these music cards will be probably sticking to the greatest hits of every respective artist. In the case of JamiroQuai, it still lists 14 songs from JamiroQuai's discography, so think of it as sort of a melanged High Times kind of track listing for this release. Still no details on the bonus features of these music cards, but it is being noted exclusive pictures, articles, and digital links to links respective of each artist's music catalog. But as I've talked to some of the reactions from the Jamily have been kind of mixed and kind of skeptical of these music cards actually being legitimate. I did check out the official website for the company that are producing these cards, and apparently they do have licensing agreements with Warner Music, Sony Music, and Virgin EMI and a few others of the major record labels will be licensing the artist's music out for these new music cards coming out first quarter of 2019. As for the reaction from the Jamily, it's been pretty mixed, but some of the Jamily members have been very questionable about these releases, given that the artwork of these cards seem very default. It is kind of common practice that whenever a new burgeoning technology comes out and they bring it to the consumer stage, they will do preliminary art. So I do believe that the art that they're using on these music cards currently on all these 12 respective Amazon.com music card sales listings for pre-order on Amazon.com is only prospective artwork. They could change, but it looks like, as I said, they are going with the approach of greatest hits for all these 12 individual artists, a majority of which are on from Sony Records for these releases of music cards. But for the fans of the Jamily who want to buy these cards, I would go with a wait-and-see approach. Given that this is a new burgeoning technology, given that these are new on the marketplace, especially being on a site like Amazon.com, which most of these big box online retailers like Alibaba and eBay and Amazon don't really have a lot of direct moderation on the products and goods and services that they offer on their websites. So I would use a lot of discretion. If you've got the money to burn, you go ahead and pre-order the JamiroQuai or whatever music card you're interested in. All the music cards on the website do have their separate sales listings, but let the buyer beware. There's still a lot of information about these releases that is not out into the common play, or at least out to the public yet. So that's anybody in the Jamily that is interested in buying this on a collector level, I would say wait and see. I would wait to close to the sales dates of these music cards on Amazon.com once they can give us more information, most notably what will be the bonus features of each of these respective music cards coming out, especially the one for JamiroQuai, because if they give us something that's $80 that only has two high-quality audio formats for the songs on there and not a lot of bonuses, it's not really worth your money. So I'm just being discretionary. I say give a lot of discretion and a lot of skepticism to these until I do have a feeling that the record labels that are involved with this company, Media and Info, that are making these music cards will be having a massive social media campaign or some time of promotions coming out on social media concerning these music card releases. So I would wait and see what the further details for these music cards are. So I just thought I'd pass on all that additional information that I pretty much, my good friend Andy over on Facebook, one of my fellow Jamily members, did find these sales listings on Amazon.com. So I'd like to send a big thank you to my friend Andy on Facebook, one of the JamiroQuai fan groups, for finding all this additional information and passing it on to me. Thank you, Andy. And if any more information comes out pertaining to these this new JamiroQuai release, not really an official JamiroQuai release, it's just something that Sony Music is licensing from their catalog for prospective sale. So if I get any hot takes from the band members themselves concerning this release, or anything additional promotion-wise about these music cards, these high-definition music cards, I will be sure to pass them off here on the JamiroQuai Minute, and maybe another additional episode of JamiroFan Talks About as more information becomes available. If you want to see a picture of these 12 experimental music card releases, they are in this video up here in the top right-hand corner, but be sure to check the description of this video down below for a higher resolution picture of these music cards with their individual information. But they do release, the two main release dates for these music cards are January 20th for the first 6, and then for the next 6, it's apparently February 20th, 2019, and they all are the same price, listing price of $80. So it's a very, very pricey item. So wait and see. We'll see what happens with these releases. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of JamiroFan Talks About. And I'll be sure to see you again really soon with another episode of JamiroFan Talks About and the JamiroQuai Minute and all the JamiroQuai related videos here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody, and Happy New Year.